making his way into the building. One of the bigger mixed martial arts fans I know, President Donald Trump, taking his octagon side seat for UFC 295.
We flip seats. We host great parties. We know how to run an organization. And it's about time that the party starts to take some cues. Maybe they can learn something from a young Republican group. Get off their high horse.
We have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you. And frankly, look, the people there cheering for losing in the Republican Party. Think about who's moderating this debate. This should be Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan, and Elon Musk.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. You often hear people say the news is full of lies.
You're probably a white supremacist. Vince Dow, for those who don't know, 19-year-old conservative YouTuber and influencer from Florida, and just a destroyer of libs with both facts and logic. Vince, thank you for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Michael. It's great to be here. It's funny, I am 19, and it's kind of a trip because I grew up watching you, and you were actually one of the people originally that kind of broke me out of my libertarian phase, and then now here we are on the show. So, they say never meet your heroes, but I think you're all right, Michael.
Oh, thank you.
From the surface, it's just a plan to dominate the world by all means through political, economical, technological, and military means. Now, we've heard the term global domination before, and typically it doesn't really come with the most peaceful instances. It comes with a mindset of force and drive to utterly destroy your opposition in all fields. So let's start with the first.
They arrested your president again. But this time they've taken it one step further, putting Trump through the process of being booked, fingerprinted, and yes, taking a mugshot. We finally got it. The Trump mugshot.
It is true that this is the most significant photo that's ever been taken. I don't know if I would go as far as to say it's the most significant image ever, but in the time since we've had photography, it's definitely the most significant picture that's ever been taken, because you think about everything that's conveyed by that picture, everything that's at stake. You're talking about a truly larger-than-life cultural figure, wildly successful businessman, virtually unchanging attitudes towards politics in all his years being a public figure.
This civil war between the Republican establishment and MAGA. And in there, you have litmus tests, okay? And one of the litmus tests is Trump.
So I'm voting for Trump, and if they convict him, I will send him the max donations, and I will lead protests. That's how I feel.
So I'm a very alarmingly far-right young man. I don't believe in voting. I don't believe in women's rights. So we're out here basically mogging on them because it's hilarious that they can't kill their kids on demand anymore.
God's children are not for sale.
There's just something sinister about wirelessly connecting to things. Every time I pull out this black screen from my pocket and use it to summon a search engine to retrieve me knowledge from faraway lands, I feel like a witch in a movie remotely viewing the other characters via her crystal ball. It feels like something you shouldn't be able to do, and you only can do via some form of dark magic.
Twitter has officially become X, and the change has Twitter users in a frenzy.
Go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
White men, what is going on? Look at what we've devolved to. Look at what we used to build. Now you've got this guy stand with black women.
Dick energy, small dick energy.
How many of you guys would love it if you and I had the manual and the playbook of what our enemy used against us? Who would love to have it? Who would love it, right? We need to get better at selling some of the values and principles that we have, because our values and principles are proven. The way we raise kids, the way we raise communities, the way we build, U.S., a brand spanking new startup country, 1776, into the greatest country in the world. How do we do this?
Our country is at war with itself. A religious war, a cultural war, a war for the soul of the nation. If we sit on the sidelines and do nothing, our country will be gone within a decade. And if we are going to do anything about it, we must have a strategy. We must have a plan.
So for all the crocodile tears about what may happen later this week about a motion to vacate, working with the Democrats is a yellow brick road that has been paved by Speaker McCarthy.
Therefore, the Honorable Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 118th Congress.
Let's also be honest. that for 30 years, Washington, D.C. has run on bipartisan foreign policy wisdom, and it has run this country to the ground.
We do need kings. That's why I am also running for president in 2024 on the Christ the King platform.
I have decided to run for truth and justice, which takes the form of running for president of the United States as a candidate for the People's Party.
I am the chief exorcist of the Vatican. My position was appointed by my bishop. My diocese is Rome. My local bishop is the Pope. If you have a problem with me, you talk to my boss.
Something about it disturbs me greatly.
They're not ready for what's coming next. I look to the future, and it is us. Tomorrow belongs to Gen Z, but that tomorrow is rocketing toward us faster than you think. In some ways, it's already here. We are the leaders of this movement, or we will be. Despite all our faults and all our downfalls, for all our strengths and merits, the burden of the future rests upon our shoulders. Conservatism must evolve. It must become aggressive, ambitious, forward-thinking, dynamic, youthful, and daring. I want the conservatives of our generation to dream of a future that scares half the left to death and inspires the other half to join us. I don't want to see hands off. I don't want to hear small government this and lower taxes that. I want to build the freedom cities. I want the quantum leap in America's standard of living. I want to make every city in America safe again by whatever means necessary. Every man in our movement is a soldier for the war, for the fate of our nation. We must act now. We must be prepared to fight to the very end, because what we are fighting for is so much greater than any one of us individually. This isn't a game, it's not a business, it is a war for survival.
France is going through a mass rape of Catholics. They're going through a proto-civil war, black nationalist Islamic riots. It's the consequence of this identity crisis. And there are two different versions of France that exist right now. There is the Catholic France that embraces its 1,000+ years of history rooted in Christendom and of empire. And then there's the secular progressive one that completely rejects its own history, spits on its history, and as unenlightened or progressive, it's unenlightened. And it's all rejecting this Catholic moral philosophy that also means that France their leadership doesn't even know where to go with this because they don't understand where it's rooted. It's rooted in the identity crisis that France is experiencing. They reject their Catholic history. They reject their historical reality of empire. They spit on it as backwards. It's ridiculous. And meanwhile, the reign of Satan just grows over France, and it's going to continue the same for us as well, because we are following those same footsteps, and we should expect a similar devastation if we continue on this path. We saw just a glimpse of it with the George Floyd riots. That was just a preview. It can get a lot worse, and it is a lot worse in France right now.
How do we take back our party, our society, our culture, and our country? It starts right here in this room. It wasn't the left alone that brought us here. Republican weakness did. The Republican Party is inherently controlled by people who do not prioritize victory. They do not prioritize victory on culture or policy or anything of substantive value to American citizens. The only way to beat that is with the full force of executive power used by an executive branch that we elect and by the state governments we elect, courageous action taken by legislators we elect, and through ruthless right-wing activism in the judiciary. We have to build a conservative movement that doesn't shy away from achieving victory by any means necessary.
There is a massive problem facing the future of the pro-life movement, and today we're going to diagnose that problem and propose a solution.
People need to see the reality of abortion. People don't understand 90% of the time what is going on, and it is so important that people in our communities know what's going on. There are over 800 abortions that happen in Illinois daily.
America is a holy land. We have the opportunity to live up to this idea. We have the opportunity to make our nation holy once again. And, just all in all, we should believe in the promises of America's empire. And people might think that this is an antiquated thing to believe in anything nowadays. It's unpopular for you to believe in anything nowadays. But I believe in the promise of America's empire. I believe in empire. America's destiny is in the legacy of Europe's great empires.
How many of y'all agree with me that our country should reject the devil?
Under my leadership, the New York Young Republican Club will forever be a vanguard of the Trump movement in the city. We will be unrelenting in our pursuit of the America First agenda, and together we will make America great once more. Now, ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet and give a loud, warm New York welcome to our hometown hero, the 45th, the 46th, and the 47th President of the United States, President Donald John Trump.
It's over. It's over.
"2023, it's so over, but we are so back. The new studio is ready to go for 2024, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next year of content. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow us on X and Instagram as well. One last note on 2023. I want to say a heartfelt and proper goodbye to American Virtue, formerly the American Populist Union. A great organization run by conservative Christian young men, which I had the honor and privilege to work with these last 2 years. All good things must come to an end, and APU was truly a great thing. While the organization is gone, the friendships still last, and I look forward to working with my APU friends in the very near future. So get ready for 2024, the campaign, the election, and the year of content. It's probably going to be one of the craziest years of our lifetime. I'll see you all very, very soon. Happy New Year, take care, and God bless.